Joining us now from Tel Aviv is Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner, a spokesperson for the Israel Defense Forces. I just want to let you know, in case you can hear that noise, that is not a siren. That is just here at the port. It's an alarm going off, and it's a normal course of business for those who may have been a little taken aback by the sound of the beeping. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to ask you about the Palestinian situation right now in Gaza. They are amassing at the Rafah border crossing to escape, as we heard from our Scott McLean, out of Gaza into Egypt. But there's confusion over whether it will actually open to humanitarian aid. Can you give us some sense of what you are hearing? Because Egypt and those in Gaza have been saying, look, there's a bombardment that has been going on in the region, so of course, since the Hamas attack. We've all seen that happen. What's the status, as you know, of the critical crossing right now, that Rafah border crossing into Egypt?
Sarah, we are on day 10 of our military operation against Hamas in order to destroy Hamas's capability as a terrorist organization, as a governing body of the Gaza Strip, as the organization that perpetrated the atrocities against the families of Israel living in the surrounding areas of Gaza Strip. That operation is ongoing, and we are striking Hamas wherever they are, but focusing most definitely in the areas in the heart of their operations in Gaza City, and in order to negate their operational capability, pursue their leaders, and destroy their professional offensive capabilities, such as drones and so on. With regard to the humanitarian situation, we are taking measures in order to evacuate people from the north to the south. And I'm happy to report that there have been hundreds of thousands of people that have adhered to our suggestion that people go down. And yes, as you're reporting about the situation in Rafah, I can't really comment on that because we are busy conducting our battle, our fight against the terrorist organization, while the diplomats are doing diplomacy in order to find and instruct. Of course, as the military, if we're instructed to hold, then we will. Currently, we are conducting our strikes. We are determined to defeat Hamas. We are determined to destroy all of their capabilities and make sure they can never, ever conduct and use the Gaza Strip as a staging ground to butcher babies in their bedrooms, Sarah.
All right. I know that continues. I am curious. Right now, you've got Secretary Anthony Blinken, who is back here for the second time, having discussions with the president at this point, and with the prime minister, as well as the defense minister and the opposition party, Mr. Lapid. From your vantage point, when he is here, do you have any sense of timing? I mean, is there actually going to be a ground war? Is that imminent? Or have you decided, or is there some decision that may not happen?
So we are prepared for the ground mobilization if instructed to do so by the government. And indeed, that is our role, to be prepared and to respond and make the operational plans in order to implement that based on the military necessity, the principle of distinction between non-combatants and the terrorists and Hamas, and proportionality in warfare. I don't know if you've seen, Sarah, just now, within the last hour, UNRWA has actually reported that some of their fuel and medical supplies have been commandeered by Hamas. So when you were reporting earlier about the need for bringing foodstuff and fuel, who can guarantee that it will actually reach anyone other than Hamas that will help them in their battle effort? This is of concern, and we need to keep this in mind.
Yeah, and that's a UN agency, for those who are unaware, the UN agency that operates in Gaza and helps run schools and the like. I do want to ask you about the population of Gaza. As you well know, about half the population is under the age of 18, meaning that they are children, they are innocents. Is there anywhere at this point safe for civilians in Gaza? Is the southern part of Gaza the place where people can be, and also on the border with Egypt, is that a place that you would consider, as a member of the military, safe, as you conduct right now air operations, but there will also potentially be the ground operation as well?
Sarah, what is happening to the children of Gaza is, it's just heartbreaking. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with Hamas and what they've done to the Gaza Strip. They have, they've been terrible to the people of Gaza. They've let them down miserably. And this is just the eventuality of their making. When they declared war on Israel, they made a huge mistake. When Hamas declared war against us, they basically signed their death warrant. Our job is to secure the safe and restore safety and security to the people of Israel. There are some over 1,300 people that were butchered at the instruction of the Hamas terrorist organization. So indeed, the images of children in Gaza, but also, there are children that have been abducted by Hamas and being held by them. They have no regard for human life, Israeli or Palestinian. And this is the tragedy of it. This government, the Hamas government, this terrorist government, they have done nothing good for the people of Gaza. And unfortunately, in our efforts to secure the state of Israel, it is indeed the people of Gaza that are paying the price for their poor leadership, for the people, for the Yahya Sinwar and all of his cronies, the people beneath him, the people he empowered, the people he financed, the people he gave the order to go to south of Israel, to go to Kibbutz Nirim, to go to Kfar Aza, to go to Re'im, to go all of these places that he instructed them to go, him and his organization. He is going to pay a price, and we are going to be rid of this organization. We won't be held hostage by the terrorist organization Hamas. And I would say the people of Gaza also should not be held hostage by Hamas.
Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner, thank you so much for joining us. There are two things that are very clear. Hamas knows that when they send rockets over or attack Israel, and certainly in this terrorist attack, that there will be repercussions and a response. And we also know that Israel is amassed on the border, waiting for instructions, as you put it, to go into Gaza on the ground when called up to do so. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, John.
All right, Sarah.